This is Abdul Saad, clinical psychologist here at Vital Mind Psychology in Sydney, Australia. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video. Apologies to the subscribers. It's been a busy time, and I'm hoping I can create some more videos for you with more information on various topics related to mental health, and psychology in general. In today's video, I wanted to take some time out to discuss the five common physical causes of mental health problems. So these are often underlying issues which can directly cause, which can impact mental health problems. So they can actually trigger mental health issues, or they can act to worsen or exacerbate mental health issues. So these are five very important areas for us to be aware of when we're dealing with mental health problems, especially if those mental health problems have become chronic in nature. So to get right into it without wasting too much time on introductions, the first physical cause of mental health problems that I want to isolate and briefly discuss is low thyroid function or suboptimal thyroid function. The thyroid gland is the master energy producing gland of the body, located at the base of the neck. It's a butterfly shaped organ. It controls our metabolic rate, the rate at which our body produces energy, how efficiently we convert the calories we eat into energy. It regulates our body temperature, and basically thyroid hormone is critical for every single cell in the body to give it energy to power the trillions of cells that make up the human organism. Without sufficient thyroid hormone, we have a state in the brain of reduced energy supply to the brain, of reduced energy metabolism in the brain. And this manifests in a lowered thyroid function state called hypothyroidism, as brain fog, as fatigue, as trouble formulating thoughts. And these are actually some of the symptoms of major depressive disorder: trouble concentrating, brain fog, difficulty formulating thoughts. And hypothyroidism has for decades, lowered thyroid function, been recognized as a potential physical contributor to depression. So some of the symptoms at a brain level, as we said, include brain fog, fatigue, slowed down thinking, and thyroid hormone is also critical for the proper function of the reproductive system and of the digestive system. So impaired thyroid function, or anything that impairs the function of the thyroid, can produce symptoms which can be very similar to mental health symptoms, especially along the lines of fatigue, brain fog, impaired thinking, and anything that will reduce the metabolic rate. The second physical factor involved in mental health, potentially a physical cause, is poor liver function. And the liver is a key organ in the body that detoxifies the body. It is involved in the detoxification process, in the breakdown and the conversion of amino acids, which are important for neurotransmitter production. And the liver is also a key site for the conversion of thyroid hormone from its inactive form, known as T4, into its active form called T3. So most of the thyroid hormone that the thyroid pumps out is in the inactive form, known as T4, and it's up to the liver as well as various other sites in the body, but predominantly the liver, to activate T4 into the active thyroid hormone of T3 to power the trillions of cells in the body, including the billions upon billions of brain cells. So anything that impairs liver function, a toxic liver, a fatty liver, a liver that's overloaded with lots of toxins and poisons, will impair thyroid production, which can impair brain function, because it's the thyroid is what's regulating energy supply to the brain via the liver. So the other thing as it relates to mental health with liver function is the liver is is intimately involved in activating B vitamins. So the B vitamins we consume in our diet and in most supplements are in the inactive form, and it's up to the liver to activate those B vitamins to make them bioavailable to the body. And B vitamins, for example, vitamin B6 needs to be activated into something called P5P, and if we have a sluggish liver, an overloaded liver, that conversion is reduced, and something like vitamin B6 is critical for making serotonin. So that can impact neurotransmitter production if our liver is impaired via the role of the liver in metabolizing and inactivating our B vitamins. So symptoms of poor liver function can include indigestion, bloating, constipation, skin problems, allergies, and chemical sensitivities. The third physical factor that can impact or directly cause mental health issues is the factor of dysregulated blood sugars. And this dysregulation takes two main forms: hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, and hyperglycemia, high blood sugar. And together these are referred to as dysglycemia. Now, anything that dysregulates blood sugar is going to impair brain function and therefore impact mental health, simply because the brain, as the most metabolically active organ of the body, requires a consistent supply of energy in the form of glucose to power its billions upon billions of cells. So unstable blood sugars, if you have the blood sugar roller coaster or seesaw where blood sugars are coming up, you're eating too many processed carbohydrates, refined carbs, white flour products, and then they come crashing down. This places enormous stress upon the body, because as the blood sugars go up and then they drop, while they're dropping, the body mobilizes the fight-flight response. It produces stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, to force the body to start mobilizing stored sugar from the liver and to get your sugar levels back to a baseline. So unstable or dysregulated blood sugars place enormous stress on the body. They place enormous stress on the stress hormone system, which I'll be referring to. And the unstable blood sugars can also interfere with the rate at which the amino acids, the building blocks for our brain chemicals, cross into the brain, across the blood-brain barrier, to form our dopamine, our serotonin, etc. Symptoms of dysregulated blood sugar can include feeling weak or shaky between meals, if you've skipped meals, craving sweets directly after meals, energy slumps throughout the day, and fatigue after eating. If you get a food coma frequently after eating, that can be a sign that you need to work on better regulating your blood sugars, because that can have a negative impact on your mental health. The fourth physical factor that impacts mental health and that can cause or exacerbate mental health problems is dysregulated stress hormones, specifically the stress hormone cortisol, which is produced by the adrenal glands, those two grape-sized organs that sit on top of our kidneys that produce stress hormones. And cortisol in particular is a potent anti-inflammatory. We can't live without cortisol. It's a member of the glucocorticoid family. It's involved in blood sugar regulation and release, because when we're stressed, it's cortisol that helps the body mobilize any stored sugar it has to put glucose into the blood. And problems with cortisol, dysregulations of this hormone, which can impact mental health, usually have two forms. To simplify it, either very high levels of cortisol or very low levels of cortisol. Chronically elevated levels, chronically high levels of cortisol are usually as a result of a prolonged period of stress, where the body has to continually adapt to the stress and pump out more and more cortisol. Stressful relationship, stressful job, long commute every day, financial pressures. And when you have a very high level of cortisol, this can often manifest as two core emotional states, either fear or panic, or anger and rage, or the person oscillates between those two. So high levels of cortisol, not good. The other side of the coin are very low levels of cortisol, because if the stress that we're under is chronic and unremitting and does not go away, the body's ability to adapt to that stress eventually is severely diminished, and we go into what's called the exhaustion stage of stress. The sort of layman's term for that is we become burnt out. We go into burnout. And with low levels of cortisol, when our cortisol levels start to tank, we're burnt out, we're fatigued, we're listless, we lose motivation, we have low mood. And also we can't mount a proper immune response. So with very low levels of cortisol, people are going to start to be very prone to catching colds, and flus, and upper respiratory tract infections, and they're going to be in a more chronically inflamed state, which can also impair neurotransmitter production and impair brain function. The fifth and final physical factor that I want to point out, and of course this list is not exhaustive in a short YouTube video, is poor gut health. And in particular, what I'm going to focus on is low stomach acid. The stomach is designed to be a highly acidic environment so we can properly digest and break down the protein that we eat into individual amino acids, which then the body uses to construct, to manufacture neurotransmitters or brain chemicals. So, for example, to make serotonin, the neurotransmitter that's intimately involved in regulating mood, energy, sleep-wake cycle, we need the amino acid tryptophan. But of course, we don't get tryptophan in our diet as tryptophan. We get tryptophan as dietary protein, which has to be broken down into the amino acid tryptophan. And if we have insufficient levels of stomach acid, we can't, the technical term is denature the protein or break down the protein into the amino acid tryptophan, which the body then uses in combination with B vitamins, with zinc, with magnesium to make serotonin. Also, the amino acid tyrosine is critical for making dopamine as well as for making thyroid hormone. So if we have insufficient levels of stomach acid, that impairs the breakdown of protein, which impairs neurotransmitter synthesis. Symptoms of low stomach acid, low hydrochloric acid in the stomach can include bloating and flatulence after meals, heartburn, and skin problems such as rosacea. So I wanted to go through those things very quickly. I can already see the videos at 12 minutes. 5 underlying factors, 5 physical factors that can impact, that can exacerbate, and in some cases, if they're severe enough, can actually set off a mental health problem. As always with these videos are strictly for educational purposes. They are not meant to treat or diagnose a disorder. They are not meant to substitute the advice of your health professional. So these are to stimulate discussion, to stimulate food for thought, and to get you thinking about your health from a holistic, whole body, systems-based perspective, so we can holistically heal and so that we can work hand in hand with our health practitioners across the various disciplines to obtain the best results possible when it comes to optimizing our mental health. I want to wish you all the best from here in Sydney, and I hope to be making more videos in the near future about various health and mental health topics. God bless, take care, all the best, bye-bye.